Well, good afternoon, viewers. We're back working on this F150 Lariat with the Parasitic draw and the telematics module causing it. So I've decided to modify the circuit. The connector on the BCM with the wiring in it is connector 2280C, which is the third one up from the bottom. It's a latched connector. I've got the pin out of the connector here. There it is there. Pin 16 is the output wire to the telematics module. So I've cut that wire and ran it through a relay. And I'm using pin 14, which is the battery saver relay output that comes on with the key and stays on until you open the door. I'm using that as a control for pin 85, and pin 86 on the relay is going to pin 6. Ground here. So I've used some posi taps because it's inside the cab of the vehicle. I've got the relay wired in. I'm going to tape it up and reconnect it and install a proper fuse in there now. So I've used this little relay here. This is 22 gauge wires. It's only a 5 amp circuit, so it really doesn't need a lot of high-tech connections. And it's inside the cab, fairly protected. So I've done it with a male and female connector in this here. So if he gets a telematics module, he can just plug this one into that one, male and female, and put it back to stock. So as a final follow-up, we're doing a complete network code cleared codes out of 32 modules. And we're going to have a look at the Telematics Control Module, make sure we got communication with it. Where is it? Telematics Control Unit. I got the key on, engine not running. Yeah, we got communication with it. Not much for a data list. Country identity 0, ignition key, ignition, module supply voltage 12.2, network identity 0, module state operational, diagnostic trouble code 0, cell strength signal 0. I'm inside the shop, so that's probably it. So I'll post a follow-up, or I'll add a little follow-up of how I wired that relay. So the connector 2280C is this latched connector halfway up the BCM, third one from the bottom. Disconnect that connector, cut the control, or cut the wire coming out of pin 16, which is yellow-red, and put spade connectors on it so that it can be attached to the relay pins 3 or 30 and 5 or 87. And then the control pins of the relay, pins 1 or 85, or 2 and 86, are connected to pin 14, teed in, and I use a posi tap to tee into pin 14, which is yellow-green, and pin 6, which is on the other side, which is a ground. You could put a ground eyelet on it and install it on the A-pillar or something too if you want. But that works. So that shuts off fuse, the power output on fuse 10. I put the 3-legged fuse back in. So the power coming out of that is switched off on its way to the telematics module when the key is off. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.